Hello, everybody. Welcome here to Heart of a Hobbit on the Lotro Twitch channel here, Lotro, twitch.tv/Lotro stream. I'm your host, Little Redhead. Hi. I just got my spot back from the cat, so I'm kind of getting shifted into place. I encouraged him to sleep, and then he slept in my spot, and so you know how it goes. So anyway, we are here on the Merry server with my handy dandy Rosenbloom. So I thought we would do a few things today. Excuse me. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to check these ingredient crates because it's been more than 22 hours since I've been over here and checked on these. I'll do that. And then another thing is, in case you haven't seen, the legendary item reward track moves to the next track in 22 hours. So if you have not claimed your stuff off of there, as I haven't, you're going to want to work on that today. Today, in the next 22 hours, you're going to want to make sure you get that done here in the next 22 hours. Because then it will expire, and anything that was unclaimed, it just goes poof, is gone. So there is no chance of reclaiming anything that you don't pick up off of there. So what I have yet to claim are, well, I got 25, so that would be the coffer of the Zajani Gallery, which is a housing bundle, and then off of 50 is the blue drakeling, so I'll get that for my character here. But I will miss out, most likely, I'm not planning to cram this, I'm most likely going to miss out on the Zanjani Council housing bundle, and also the helpful deep claw whelp. I guess that's okay. There is an emote that is called Read. Let me see, R-E-A-D. So it looks like that here in the middle. So it looks, I can't enlarge it, but it looks like your character is like reading, you know, it's holding a book and reading. And I was at a social event recently and I was like, oh man, I wish I'd had that. It was off of I think the very first legendary item reward track. And the problem with these reward tracks is that you can only get the goods. It applies to your entire server. So, like, if I have 10 characters and I want to get it for each one of them, it's not like I can do the reward track 10 times. That's just not a possibility. You have one reward track for the server, and so you get one of each of these things. And so you have to pick who of your characters is going to get the goods. So I put it on a different character at the time, was my main, but now I've switched. And I cannot extract that from her, unfortunately. So, yeah, so sad. Anyway, all right, so it is, here, actually, did I put it on my character? Let's take a look. I used to do a thing where I would, on my character's biography, put the dates and time of the upcoming festivals. And I don't do it on this character because this is actually more of a role-playing character, so I haven't been doing it on her as much. But I did go ahead and put it in LotroPad, which is this cool little plugin that I enjoy using. And it's got like all these tabs on the side, so I'm on the events tab right here. And you can like have different things for on the like what 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So it's got 10 pages basically that you can play around with. And I don't know if there's a limit on a page. I haven't run into that, but I haven't tried. Anyway, so what I did is I just went ahead and copied and pasted into here the things that I was most interested in, so I can just pull it up whenever I'm running around. So, oh, we just had a 10% Virtue XP boost, so that's over. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. That's gone. That's done. And then the next reward track season is starting, it says 17, oh, season 17. There we go. We're going to put a comma in there. Begins March 4th, which is, yeah, tomorrow. So 22 hours from now. And that goes till June 3rd. So then the next exciting thing for us is the Spring Festival, and that starts on March 12th. So the way that, hang on. Oh, Demore Gaming says good morning. Hope all are well. Yes, thank you very much. Things are good here, I think. I think we are all well and healthy and all of that. So that's good. I hope you are well too. So, so the way that Cordovan posts these on the website is he does them like, it'll say, 3:31 at 10 a.m. and then it's got like a gap, and then it says 4:2 at 3 a.m. And so I know that basically all of these say 10 a.m. to 3 a.m., right? So I've gone ahead and I wrote that, like, all events begin at 10 a.m. and end at 3 a.m., so the day before is the last full day. And then I've gone ahead and started, for my own purposes, and then in case I post this anywhere where people read it, is writing it out which month it is, because I'm in Europe. And so if I see 4/1, that could just as well be January 4th for me, as opposed to 4/1, which is going to be considered probably April 1st. So I've just started going ahead and kind of editing those a little bit for myself. And then if I copy and paste this like into my character's bio or anything like that, then it's like, it's a lot more clear what month and day we're talking about. So like the chicken run is coming up on, well, April 1st, basically. It's that weekend, or that set of days. But anyway, so we've got the Spring Festival coming up, and it starts next Thursday. So we've got today's stream, because today is March 3rd, right? Yes, 3/3. That's easy. Now we don't have the day or the month gets confused. Sorry, drinking a bit of water. I'm kind of thirsty today. I'll go ahead and do a cough drop. I was saying I got a little something in my throat, and it just seems to be persistent. So I think I'm just going to do a cough drop so it bothers you guys less, hopefully. But it's kind of like a daily thing. So it's not just y'all. Okay, so yeah, so we've got the Spring Festival starting next week, but not... It starts after my stream next week. So we've got today and next week to do, whatever, something else. And then we get into Spring Festival. Yay. So we got Buried Treasure event coming up in April. That's often fun. Yeah, we won't miss that. I'm going to miss a couple of days of Lotro stuff, so kind of keeping an eye on that. But yeah, if it goes from the 3rd to the 13th, that's 10 whole days. We should be able to catch some of that. Oh yeah, and then the anniversary event is in April. That starts April 23rd, and that's going to be awesome because 19 years. Lotro will have been 19 years at that point in existence, so that's so wild. And that goes till May 12th, so that'll be a good festival as well. That'll be fun. We'll do, I think, is that one where they added some new stuff last year? So I know one of the Lotro developers, MVP, has been working on like adding stuff to the festivals, not like across the board, but a little bit here, a little bit there kind of thing. And like for Midsummer, yeah, he added like a whole new area that was off by like the beach and the waves and all of that. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, so I don't know if we've got anything new for anniversary or not. So that was Midsummer. I think, what else did we get? We got some new stuff. Other festivals too, now I'm trying to remember. Well, anyway, okay, so that's what we got going on there. But what we're going to do today is we're going to do some stuff, these things called Roving Threats. So let's see. I went ahead and picked up a plugin about Roving Threats, but I didn't load it yet. So let's take a look at that. So our RT plugin, So what it's supposed to do, it says this plugin is meant to make the finding and sharing of roving threat locations easier. Locations are different each day and per server, and they change at 3 a.m. server reset time. Okay, so what this is going to do is it should give me a map with markers at each possible location, and it toggles red if there's a roving threat there. Coordinates are shown if you hover over the location. Locations are saved between alting on one server. Oh, so if you're going from one character to another, that's convenient. Locations can be locked and unlocked per map. Button to show where you are on the map. Cute. Possibility to send the locations you have marked to chat channel. Handy. Option to receive data. If someone else sends their marked location, they will automatically be added to your map. Control click a location to send the coordinates of the next target. And alt click a location to use waypoint plugin with coordinates. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and load this for now. Okay, cool. What happens if I close it? Is there a button on the screen somewhere for me? Ahaha. So now I have this little button. Here, I'll set it on the... Okay, cool. I can toggle it on and off. Boom, boom. Excellent. I'm going to pop this down here in the corner. So it's right down here, right below me. That's convenient. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to run around with that today. And Affidel has agreed to join me on this adventure. So I don't have to do it by myself. Oh, that's so funny. I just realized, I just noticed my neighbor hasn't undone their winter Yule stuff. I undid mine. I went ahead and moved on to spring because I'm like, I'm over it. I'm into spring now. All right, so where do you want to meet? Oh, I should probably check out how my window's doing. 10 days. Cool, 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 cool. Interesting. Am I not? Oh, because I'm in the neighborhood, maybe. Hey, Skagosi. Skagosi says, good evening, Little Red and B4. Hey, there's Affidel. Oh, right. I don't have names on because I'm on my roleplay server. There we go. It shouldn't be snowing in my neighborhood. I got rid of the snow here. You might have been over here. It is snowing over here, I think. Yep, here it's snowing. Ta-da! Okay, so... yeah, you clipped it on your way in. Yep. Oops. Yeah, Kato just got her paw and tail wrapped around my... There we go. I'm just moving a few things there, babe. Yeah, you're good. You're fine. I'm just waiting for you to move that claw. Thank you. Much appreciated. You're good. Okay, so we're going to go to Estelden. So, grab up my handy dandy little map. We're going to go to Estelden, which is in the door here somewhere. Oh, it's up here. Here we go. Yeah. The cat is unfazed by that noise. She's heard it before. All right. So yeah, so I can pull up this little thing and it should show me where it thinks the roving threat is. Oops, hang on, I got caught on something. Okay, so for each of the roving threat, for each of the areas, there's a roving threats like NPC that you can interact with. So in this case with this roving threat quartermaster, and they have a gray ring over their head. So she actually does have quests for me for this region. So she has a roving threat, Durlam the Disturbed.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Oh, that's a bit loud. Let me turn that down a smidge. So it says, the enemy forces occupying Fornost have angered and corrupted even the dead. Recently, a powerful shade has begun stalking the fields. The orcs must have been searching the deepest of tombs. Now even the orcs are afraid of the one they call Durlam. This spirit must be put to rest. So, and if we defeat these threats, these roving threats, so these roving threats are higher level. They're like a level 100 kind of deal. And you'll find them running around in areas that are not level 100. So it's definitely the kind of thing where you got to pay attention to them, and it was something that was included in the game when 100 was the cap level, I guess. And it gave 100 folks something to do and to go back and revisit older areas. So for doing this, we're going to get some legendary item experience. I'm going to get some steed experience, which I probably have. Yeah, I have a war steed. And it's going to give me a giver's brand, which I can use to barter with her and other quartermasters to get things like tapestries for the house. What else? And then there's some, oh yeah, the old legendaries. Are these the new? I think those are the old ones. I'm not sure. Anyway, legendary items are there with her as well. But why you would do that, I don't know. So, Askagos, he says, like your new hairdo. Thank you. It's a little bit more blue than I was expecting. We were trying to go with like a brighter purple, and it kind of turned out more blue, but that's okay. Well, I'm definitely curious to see what it does like over time. So, all right, let me grab these other two. So we've got a roving threat called Rotspittle the Corrupted.
Would you do so?
Have you seen the drakes up in the mountains? If you leave them alone, they usually won't trouble you, but lately things have changed. There are tales of a drake who comes down from the mountain killing large animals and men. Though I wish it were not true, I have seen some of these corpses. The skin and hair has been burnt, not with fire, but with some sort of putrid poison. Is Angmar corrupting and defiling the mountain drakes as well? You must take care of this corrupted drake before more innocent lives are taken. All right, and the last one is Valkas, the Misguided.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Since some of the Earthkin have sided with Angmar, their minds have slowly warped. One Earthkin, called Valkas, walked in an even darker path. He trained with the Angmarim and now seeks to corrupt his fellow Jorkin to the ways of the Witch King of Angmar. There is no path back to the light for Valkas. He must be dealt with. Okay, so we've picked up all the threats that she has. And if you want to know, tell me more. And she'll say, Roving Threats have been seen within the realm of Eriador. You can find them in the regions of Angmar, Avendim, Forochel, the Misty Mountains, or the North Downs, for example. So that's the kind of information she has for us. So now we have our 3 Roving Threat things. Isn't there a Roving Threat wrapper we can get somewhere? Or is that later on?
We have a deed that will pop up.
Okay. There might be a deed. Okay, so I have those. Now, if I pull this up to Angmar, Avendim, Forochel. Okay, so I think we were trying to do North Downs. No, don't. Okay, so it could be in one of these areas, is what I'm getting out of this.
I think it's possible the /LOC functions will not work because of their patches.
Okay, so let me put this into Fellowship. So here's this cool little drop-down thing where I can choose where I put my output to go, and I can put it into Fellowship, for example. And if I click on Receive Data, I think that means if Affodil posts something, I should get it. And then /LOC, there should be a thing in here, but it's possible it's not working because of the current updates with the stuff. And then, so we're going to go check out, Affodil has sent me the coordinates in chat, 81 south and 37 west. So oh yeah, because we can't say where we are, but so with this one here. We're going to go and check that guy. And then we'll check that one, and so forth. So at least these are the locations where it could be. No, it doesn't know where we are. It doesn't know where the roving threat is, but it knows that it could be one of these places. And then I think we can mark it off the map or something if it's not there. I'm not sure how that...
It's not there. It's not authoritative because someone else could have.
Fair point. Okay, so each day, my understanding is that... Oh, but there it is. So we're going to... take care of this guy first. And he's a level 100, and we're level 150 something, so I think we're probably going to be okay. Oop, you scared me away. Sorry, I'm dragging him away unintentionally. Whoop. You interrupted me. Alright, so it's not just a one-shot, for sure. Alright. So that's what that looks like. Now, I think, what if I just do that, it shows that we got it, maybe.
Yeah, I like to click it and mark it red to show that's where it is.
Yeah, I think you only have red or white. So there's no way to, like, put an X over it or anything like that, or, yeah. Now, we're going through a handful of roving threats here, so I assume these 3 are this guy? I'm not sure. I haven't used the roving threats map before. Before is usually really good about using it, but we thought, well, maybe I should go ahead and try and use it on stream today and see how it goes, right?
It is possible it's cleanly divided like that, but I don't understand it well enough to trust it. So.
Herbert Nimble, having issues seeing the stream. I would say try refreshing and see if that, refresh your screen, refresh your browser window there, and see if that makes a difference for you. While you're doing that, we're probably going to work on taking out this dragon. And we'll just double check. And yeah, before it's double checking, looks like he can see the stream okay. I tripped the dragon. He didn't think it was very funny. You refreshed a few times, seems to be an issue with loader stream. When you hop over to my channel, you see the stream just fine. That's really weird. I don't know that other people are having that trouble. I know Skagosi's not having that trouble because they were able to see my hairdo. Oh, hey, we just did a roving threat, so I'm going to mark this circle. Oh, I don't know where I am. But I can look on a regular map and know where I am. I'm out here. All right, so we just got a roving threat there, too. So we've gotten 2 out of the 3. Oops, don't need that. That is really wild, Herbert Nimble. Maybe try a new browser window? I don't know. Because now Herbert Nimble says they've refreshed a few times, seems to be having trouble. Yeah, I guess if other people are having this trouble also, or I guess if other people can see or not see, put a note in the chat there so we know if this is happening to multiple people or if it's a localized issue, or what's the scoop there. That's wild that you can hear but not see. Is there like a checkbox or something, like a click? You know, I'm just thinking of like when you go on to like when you're doing a video chat with somebody and you have to click to see your camera or click to have your microphone work. Not that that's a normal thing on Twitch. Usually they're all there without having to click on anything. But I wonder if like there's some interesting thing happening where, you know, you have to click something to make the video show? I don't know. That's so odd. Well, if nothing else, I do post these afterwards. I record these and then I post them over on my YouTube channel afterwards. And I could get my YouTube channel. Hang on a second. I should be able to grab my YouTube channel for you. I thought I had an easier name, but okay, so... Oh, okay. Hang on, B4 going to grab it. So B4 will put my YouTube stream, my YouTube channel link in the chat, and then you can at least watch it after the fact. I mean, I won't post it until afterwards. Okay, so this is another location for a roving threat, and there's nobody here. So we're gonna port back using my handy little hunter travel excuse me, back to Estelden, and then we'll ride out the other direction and take a look. So that is really wild, Herbert Nimble, that you are having trouble seeing the Lotra stream. How bizarre. Well, you're welcome to hang out in the audio, of course. And yeah, I'll try to keep you up to date on what's going on. Here's a fun little thing, though, is I discovered that so I went ahead and Travel Window 2 just had another update. So I went ahead and updated. So one of the things you can do is if you right click on it, you can you can go to button. There's a new menu item here called button. You can change your icon. We'll come back to that in a second. Or you can change your button size. So right now it's at 100%. I could make it 150%. So there's my little suitcase at 150. Or I could change it to like 200%. So there's my suitcase at 200%. Isn't that fun? The other thing I can do is, let me move it to like 150. The other thing I can do is I can change it to a different icon. So this is the default. I can make it a boot. So it looks like that. Or I could make it a backpack. So it looks like that. That's kind of cute. Or I can change it to a horse. A horse's head. I think I am just so used to the it being the suitcase. I'm going to go back to default for now, just to keep it simple, so I don't get confused and think my travel windows disappeared and some random thing has showed up on my thing. But that's kind of fun. I did go ahead and put it to 150, and I think I might like that for a little while. We'll try that and see what see if it's too big or, but it makes it easier to find, that's for sure. Now, I'm so used to it being in that one spot on my screen, but now that it's bigger, it kind of sticks out a little bit. So I may end up either putting it back down or in size, or I might no one home. Okay, so here we are looking at this location. Oh no, sorry, this location over here. So now we're gonna ride south. Oh, you want to just do that? Okay. It's faster. All right, let me pop us back to Estelden, and then we'll ride back out again. Handy thing for being a hunter. That's fair. Okay. Herbert Nibble found the issue. There's an overlay called Ultimate Closed Captions, and it seems to not work properly, as when I turn it off, I can see you perfectly fine. So there's that. Oh, well, that's good. Disappointing about the closed captions not working. I had a plugin in OBS, which is the streaming software that I'm using here. And Casper's come to join us now. But unfortunately, I think OBS did an update, right? And now the closed captions don't work. Somebody did an update, now the closed captions don't work, which is a real disappointment, because I used to quite enjoy being able to put closed captions on the screen for anybody who might need it. But now it is no longer an option, which is sad. Well, I'm glad you found the issue. Overlay called Ultimate Closed Captions. And yeah, so maybe that stopped working properly when well, that'd be a Twitch thing probably, though. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy, huh? I know, it's like, I was discussing the other day about how I would really love to create something technology-wise that is like, doesn't change. How about things just don't change? Okay, so we are now writing, we're over here in the middle of the screen there and writing around, and we are trying to get to this one at the edge of the herd of cattle. Is there a button for that? Okay, I guess I could do that. So, it's not hidden behind my head. There we go. So now you can see both maps at the same time. So yeah, so we're writing to this circle here, which we are currently very close to it. So let me, and it would appear that no exciting creatures are home at this time. So not here.
Now, once you found them, they're until 3 a.m.
So I think what before is saying is that when you find them, they're always in the same place after that until 3 a.m. Yeah. So if we were to come in with like other characters,
Or these. They respawn after X minutes.
but you can't redo the quest until the next day, I don't think.
Now that you can get credit for slaying them for Slayer.
That's fair. So, okay, so what we're talking about here is that, so we know that that 2 roving threats are in these 2 locations, which is kind of convenient that they're right next to each other. There's these quests that we're doing, and those you can only do once a day, right? But there are deeds that give you, that 4 roving threats. And let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Okay, so on the deed log here, I think it's going to be under what? Class, race, epic. And if I go to race and social, Roving Threat Slayer. So I have defeated 4 out of 50 in order to complete this Roving Threat Slayer deed. So if I just wanted to work on it over and over and over again, I could just hang out, in that space over there and just keep batting those 2 down that are over there and work on accelerating my deed progress. Do you want to follow me? Okay. Before he's got some food cooking, so he's got to go and release the pressure on a pressure cooker. So I will work on taking us to the next one. So let's see, we were just doing the one by the cows. And currently we are over here. So I'm guessing we are going to go check this one probably, and then go up towards Fornost. So, okay, so we're heading towards some trees. Yeah. So we're heading down this way. Oh, good. Yeah, so Herbert Nimble says, yes, it's a Twitch thing. The closed caption thing that wasn't working properly. That is a shame, though. I wish that was more of a priority to make sure that these things work, Okay, so we want to go, I think, maybe too far this way. More this way. Well, I'm going to stop and get the silver. But there should be a roving threat. Let's see, let me pull it back up. Yeah, right about where we are, maybe a smidge to the north. So we'll look over this crest and see if we see anything. Not see anything. Technology things that don't change. What necromancy is that? Yeah, I know. You know how, like, you'll have an app and they'll change the way the buttons look. And they haven't really moved them. They haven't really added new buttons or removed any buttons. It's just updating the look of it mainly. And I don't know why they need to do that. Because, like, I was happy with the way the buttons were. They were totally fine. Don't need to update them. So, I wish it would be, like, a sort of thing where it's like, they just leave it alone. Or, if they really want to change things, they give you the options. Be like, hey, you can have square buttons. You can have round buttons. You get to choose. Because, I don't. Okay. So, we're now looking for, I'll show you where we're going. We're going to go and check out these 2 spots over here in the far west. So now it occurred to me that things like all the social media that we use and all these different apps that we use for communicating, like, the old bulletin board systems, and now we use like Discord and how, you know, there's Facebook and there's TikTok and there's Instagram and like there's all these different various things. And like, wouldn't it be handy if, let's say you didn't use something for 10 years and you came back 10 years later and it was still just as usable as it was when you left, right? Everything looks pretty close to the same as when you left. You know, the usability is the same. So something that could be kind of time proofed, and the sort of thing where it's like, you know, you're using it, your kids are using it, your grandkids are using it, your parents are using it, your grandparents are using it, like something that could just bridge all of the various generations and things of that sort. Hang on, let's take a look, see where we are. Okay, so it looks like if we were going to find one of them, it would have been right back here. So let's double check, make sure I didn't walk right by something. No, I don't think so. Okay, so we'll keep heading to the next potential spot, which was north, kind of like dotting the I in fields. Okay. Because there's times when it's like, I wish I could use some of the tools that I use for communicating with, say, like my parents. But getting them to try something different, you know, there's a large, or anybody, really, to be quite honest, getting people to try something new has, you know, a bit of a barrier to it. You know, there's a learning curve, and then you gotta make sure you spend all this time figuring it out, and then once you figure it out, then, you know, it's like, yeah, so there's definitely a bit of like, is it worth my time to even bother, you know? All right, so we're gonna say no to that spot. And we're gonna go try the next one, which is probably, let's see, we just did these two. So we're gonna head over to this little dot here in this clover or whatever and see what we see over there. So we're heading up to there. So Herbert says, my pet peeve is the numpads on payment terminals not having the numbers in the same order. So I actually have to remember my PIN code rather than using muscle memory to put it in. Oh, that's funny. I haven't noticed that, but I don't have to put my PIN code in very often because I don't spend large amounts. And where we are in the Netherlands, I guess, yeah, I must not spend a lot of money or something. I do a lot of stuff online. So I don't find myself putting in my PIN code very often, which is good because I don't remember it and then I get it wrong. So that's fun. Okay, so we checked another spot. That had a no. That was a big fat no. So now we're going to go inside here and we're going to check. So we got to go up the ramp and then we go off to the side and we'll see if it's sitting over there. I think the pin pads here have been 1, 2, 3 across the top, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, and 0 at the bottom. I don't recall seeing anything other than that recently. Okay, so we are close, and then we're just gonna fall off to the side here and see if we see something wandering around over here. And we're looking for Durlum. I think it's a spirit, maybe. Might have been that one. So we're looking for this spot here. And we are getting close to it. Yeah. Should we just... the next section, maybe? Oh, maybe it's up. Yeah. Maybe we needed to be up there. I'm going to check up here just in case. Oh, you found it. Okay. Ah, I see it. Godlump. So there's our roving threat. Ready? Oh, it hit me with a fear effect. Stinker. Well, I'll just drag this warlord away. Goodness. Again, there must be something I don't have that's causing that to get through. There must be some weakness I have, like I need a higher something level. He's gone invisible. And he's back. There we go. Yay. Oof. My resistances. Yeah, that's probably it. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Like my critical defense? Defense. Resistance. Where's the resistance? Down below?
It was right above critical defense.
Oh, resistance. 4,371. Your chance to avoid all effects is 0.9%. That doesn't sound like a lot. Although that's against 154 enemies. That was a level 100 enemy, so it should have been really easy. I don't know. Oh, well. With 52k, you have 8.5. Okay, so mine is low. All right, back to Estelden. So we're done here, and now we get to go turn these things back in, and then we'll go pick up another round of them. So, let's see. Osrosliam says, as someone looking to get back into Lotro, likely solo, is there a certain race and class you could recommend? Yeah, no, that is a common question. So basically, there's melee characters and then there's ranged characters or classes. All of them you can run solo, and all of them are also useful in groups. And Lotro does a balancing on a regular basis, like every few years a class will be balanced. And like they just did hunters again recently. It's been about a year since they did the hunters, maybe 6 months. I think it's 6 months when they just did hunters. So if you're like, well, I want to be able to do this eventually or that eventually or whatever, eventually you will. It doesn't matter what class you play or what race you're playing. Eventually you will be able to take out a roving threat by yourself, or go do endgame stuff with groups or whatever. So it really comes down to, what do you enjoy playing? Because a lot of Lotro isn't about getting to the highest level and doing the high stuff, and nobody goes back to the old stuff anymore. It's actually very much like people are active in all parts of the game for different reasons. And the storyline is actually a lot of fun to go through. So, that is worth it in itself, just doing. But then there's also things like this where when level 100 was the highest, that was the cap, they added in these things called Roving Threats. And I find them interesting. So we are higher than level that. I'm 154, Affidal's 159. But we're going around and doing those today because there's a deed and you can get these tokens, and we can use those to turn them in for housing stuff.
What can I do?
So, there's things you might go back and do for fun, and we're definitely over leveled for this, but then that means it's easy for us to do. So, it's one of those things where I put off getting the decorations for my house until I was able to be high enough level to do this sort of stuff. So, yeah. So it really comes down to, you're going to be able to do everything that you want to do in the game eventually. So focus on enjoying the story and playing a race and a class that you are going to enjoy. And you can also start a new character. All free-to-play players, you get 2 character slots. So if you start with one character and you're like, this really isn't scratching that itch for me, make a new character, try a different class, and see if it really connects better with you. So, okay, so I brought good news, and let's see, and brought more good news. North Downs will be a peaceful place. And peaceful. We've done good service for the free peoples. All right, check this out. I have completed 3 roving threat quests in the North Downs. I am now the roving defender of the North Downs. It looks as though perhaps I had never done this. So what I just did was a deed that was, let's see if I can pull it up on the deed tracker. on the D log. Sorry, the in-game one. Oh, it's scooted right down. Hang on. No, not that one. Oh yeah, Roving Threats. Roving Threats, the North Downs Roving Threats. So for this region, there were 3 Roving Threats, and I've just taken out each of them and turned in the quest for each one of them, which finished this deed for me. Yay! So, which gave me some Lotra points and that title, and gave me a new deed. Oh, it bestowed the deed when I was turned in the first one. Yeah. Although Slayer of the North Downs, I have to... Oh, that's just a regular Slayer, not this kind of guy. I have some unfinished Slayer deeds. All right, we'll close that off. So, okay, so where do we want to go to next? Since we know you're tuned close nearby, yeah, let's do it. Since there's 2 of them that are really nearby, because remember those first 2 that we found? We're going to do those just to add to our numbers for our overall Slayer deeds, so that'll be awesome. Okay, so yeah, so let's see. B4 asked, do you prefer tank, melee, ranged, or healers? Oster's Liam is into melee damage, most likely. So before said that there are several classes that specialize in melee damage. Bjornings, Brawlers, Burglars, Champions, and Guardians. I'll focus on that. Yeah, so let's see. So some of the classes that are newer are, you still have to buy them. But then over time, as they introduce new classes, they make the older new classes free. So I'm trying to remember if Bjornings are free or if you have to add them in. We have gone through the process. So sometimes what they'll do is when they bring out a new class, it's at the same time as a new expansion, and they bring out new expansions every year. So sometimes when you buy the new expansion, you get the new class. And so B4 and I have done that pretty much for all of them. And so I have a hard time remembering which ones are currently available for free and which ones you still have to pay for. But Bjorning is a good one because it's very strong. And so for each of your classes, oh, hang on, let me do this roving threat, but keep an eye out. Remember that thing for a second. We'll be back to that. Here, I'm going to put down a net. I'll go indivisible and hit things hard because I'm a hunter. And then he's going to scare me away. Oh, no, he's after you. Okay. You have the arrow. Oh, nope, I have it. Let me hit him with a bard's arrow. Ha! You must be on solid ground. What? I can't shoot while I'm flying through the air? What? That was great. You gotta love that. Oh, I have unclaimed stuff on the reward track. Yes, we are aware of that. I will come back to that. Okay, so every class used to have 3 distinct different trait trees. So you've got your blue, you've got your red, you've got your yellow, and each one has a different function. Now, a couple of the classes, like Minstrel, I believe, which is what B4 plays, they took the yellow and they made it kind of like a, what do you call it? Just like a extra stuff that you could pick, but it's not a line unto itself. Oops, sorry. I was preparing and I ended up triggering him. Hang on a second. Deal with this. But anyway, so Hunter and Bjorning, for example, I know for sure, still have those 3 distinct trait trees. Hang on a second. There we go. Nice. No, I'm not going to shoot the little hair in the ground. Poor little guy. Oh yeah, so where do we want to go next? The Misties. All right, so let me... Misty Mountains. There we go. I'm going to take it to the Misties. Okay, what I was going to say, so let me finish this real quick. Actually, let me look at Herbert. Herbert says, I find myself getting bored with Lotra. Unfortunately, I've got no one to play with. Got my mini at the Gates of Moria, but never entered. And when I take too long, I just can't remember how to play when I come back. That is an issue about yeah, remembering how to play, and then it's like you want to start a new one, and then it's like, oh, hang on, we got to go talk to Blaine, and he's over at Blaine's camp. So Herbert, I would, if you're not in a kinship, even if you were in a kinship or whatever, find an active kinship. And maybe that's a good way to get started. And also maybe find like a little video, like Lotro players do enjoy putting out like little videos and stuff of how to play. And so there's often some good folks you can find out there who've put out some nice videos that might be just a good reminder on how to do things. So that could be really handy. Let's see. Okay, I've got a stone giant. Hang on, he says stone giants have no respect for the mountains. They spend all day throwing boulders at each other while trees and animals are flattened and killed without their knowing. Oh no. One particular giant that we call Grothers has made it impossible to venture through these mountains. Could you talk some sense into that imbecile? Let's see. Some creatures in the mountains are quite dangerous, but none as deadly as Hrimdar. May not be as strong as a giant, but it hunts from snowdrifts and in blinding snows. You never see the creature coming. It's till too late. And then we've got Krabakam, the master hunter. He says, I am not a hunter. If it weren't for my companions, I'd starve to death on these slopes. I saw a strange fellow when I was last out. Either he did not notice me, or he was looking for something. He is a Garadane and a hunter from the north. I'm worried that the next time I venture onto the slopes, he may hunt me. Will you drive him away so that I can continue my exploration of the Misty Mountains? And lastly, the ice giant.
Will you help me?
The cold does not bother me too much, my friend. However, some areas of the Misty Mountains seem colder still. At first I thought it was my imagination, but then I saw a creature of frost and cold. It was an ice giant. If this beast is not dealt with, I will surely freeze to death, and you will have to thaw me in the forges of Khazad-dûm. Okay, thanks, bud. All right, so we have picked up all of the roving threats from this guy. Excuse me. And we're going to pull up the Misty Mountains map. So these are the various places we're going to go and check. None of which happen to be where we are. So do you want me to... What's that? Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Let's just go back where we started. So... Oh, that's a fair point. B4 says, Herbert, that Lotro with friends is a great time. You might be able to find people on the official Discord to group up with, which is a reason why they created that Discord in the first place, actually, is to help people. And with the server consolidations, there's a lot bigger concentration of people versus the old servers. So you might have a better chance of finding people. Herbert says, yeah, the problem is the same for Lotro as any other MMO. If you don't play regularly enough, the others out-level you, so there's that as well. And you're a chronic altaholic, so you have like 10 character slots or something. I mean, you fit right in. So, yeah, there's lots of people who have altaholicism. So, and there, and there's definitely people who will use the Stone of the Tortoise. They do what they call slow-tro. So going slow in Lotro, and they just stay, at one level. Now, of course, they're often doing quests and stuff at that level, but, that might be a way to find some folks to gather with, find some other Slowtro folks to gather with. Yeah. I like B4's suggestion of check on the Discord, and there's separate Discords for each of the servers. So you could be like, checking the Discord channel for just, whichever server you're on or that you prefer to play on the most, and see what's the vibe and who's around there, and see if you can catch up with some people. I used to stand around the taverns, Herbert says, in the Shire playing music for hours. Nice. Festivals are coming up, and some people like doing that, like hanging around the festivals and just playing music. So that could be something that gets you back in the game and just having fun with it. Yeah, you baby. One of the cats is back. Here's Kato. Casper's sleeping on me next to me on the other side. Anyway, back to our new person. Did you just drop something? Kato likes to rub her face on things, but when she does, they fall on the ground. So she doesn't knock things on the ground like bat. She doesn't do that. She's like rub. Oh, now the thing I was rubbing on is gone. Because she's a goof. Yeah, back to what I was talking about with the different lines. So in this case, for example, Hunter, I have some points available too. I probably should spend them. Looks like this is my red line. Oh, maybe I should switch because I have been enjoying blue line. So I might do that here in a second. But anyway, the...
You need to get back to instruments.
Oh, okay. Let me put this down. We gotta do in-game stuff. Hang on. Misty Mountains. We've looked at roving threat spots here and did not find anybody. So each of the lines has a different focus, is what I'm trying to say. So for the hunter, the red line is your glass cannon. So you hit really hard, but if you get hit,
What do you need?
there's not a lot you can do about it. The blue line is you're more mobile. You still do some good DPS, good damage, but you're not as much as red, but you are much more mobile. So let me switch over to this. Kabam. Yeah, this is my blue line. I'm going to go back to this. But the nice thing is, regardless of what line you're in, you can still buy into some of the stuff on the other line. So for example, I really do like being able to set a trap. That's over in yellow in Hunter. So, you know, I've gone ahead and spent some points over there. They cost double, so it costs 2 per spot instead of 1. But, you know, it's still, I get stuff. I think I've maxed out everything in blue, so I can skip that. I should be following you. But I still can spend, like, you know, a couple points over here on other things. Oh. Let me do that. Oh, it was going to dismount me anyway. Okay, and then with Hunter, the yellow line is like crowd control, setting traps, that sort of thing. It's not anywhere near as much DPS, but it's really good at trapping and controlling and stopping and slowing and that sort of thing. So Bjornings have a very similar kind of thing going on, but it's a lot more straightforward. For Bjornings, one line is basically tank, so can take a lot of damage but doesn't do a lot. Oh, here's our roving threat. Yeah, up here. Hang on, let me say hello. Anyway, so with Bjorning, yeah, you've got one that's a tank, one that's DPS, and one that's what was the other one? Healer. A healing. Oh, and the healing Bjorning is actually really good. So that's one thing that makes Bjorning really fun, is you can try out what it's like to tank, what it's like to do DPS, you know, to be the damage, you know, attacker guy, or what it's like to be the healer without having to make a whole new character. So that's why Bjorning can be kind of fun. And then you have also the ability to switch from a bear into a human, which is kind of interesting also. Oh, hey, I should mark my map. We were just, where were we? That one? The bottom one?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Excellent, thank you.
Take us back to Misty Mountains.
For this one, having a hunter is really handy. So hunters, what was the name of the person who was new? Oh yeah, Urslium. Ursus Liam. The hunters have this ability, excuse me, to travel and take their entire fellowship with them. So, excuse me, highly recommend making good friends with a hunter. They're super handy. Let's see, burglars got a revamp recently, and I have never been able to really crack how to play a burglar effectively. I have known people though who did, and they're really good at it. And so solo burglar is something that is definitely a possible thing to do. I can't give any advice on how to do it, but I know it's very possible. What were some of the other ones that you listed? Yeah, Reckless 101 says hunter equals taxi. It's very true. Yeah, and I don't mind it at all. There's times when people will be like, in world chat, and they're like, hey, can a hunter get me to so-and-so? And if I'm, not in the middle of something else, I'll be like, yeah, I could totally do that. I do not mind. There's no hunter's rations to worry about, traveling rations. Apparently that used to be a thing, but that's before my time, actually. Okay, so we're looking for a threat in this area. We are down here, and we're looking to get over and check these two places over here. Excuse me. So anyway, there are a lot of melee options. So, oh, hey, there's our roving threat. Oh, where am I? I should want to mark this on the map. Okay, right in the trees. Bam. All right, let's say hello. New quest, business before vengeance. What did I do? Oh.
I think I'm dropping that one.
Collect fissure worm scales. Yeah, I don't think I'm too worried about getting increased reputation with Thorns Hall right now. So I think I'm okay. It's likely I'm maxed out with Thorns Hall because I got the travel skill. Well, I have the hunter travel skill, but I probably had to max out for that. Okay. Apparently we're jumping here. Whee! This area is so interesting. We don't end up out here very often, but it's fascinating to see. Sorry, the cat next to me is twitching. Why are you twitching? I think he's sleeping and having a dream. I would not be surprised if he wakes up in a few minutes and starts meowing.
Well, that's kind of everything here. Want to take us back?
Okay, so we've looked around this area, and we're not seeing the other one. So we're going to go back and I think look for these two. So, or three. Oh, maybe I missed one. All right, so back to the Misties. So Herbert says, yeah, I think I started playing like 16 years ago at this stage. That's awesome. Yeah, there are a lot of people who have been around for that kind of a time, and it's wild. There's people who are still playing who, like, bought the lifetime subscription back in the day. Like, how cool is that, right? Oh, yeah, to Blaine's camp? Okay.
What do you need?
Yeah, I was wondering. Okay, I'm going to dismount. I got that in time. We're going to go to the High Crag instead. Hi, Crag. So, Herbert, I don't know if you heard earlier, but the Lotra Anniversary Festival is coming up in April, and that is celebrating 19 years that the game will have been around. So, isn't that crazy? What's this guy want?
Mind my words, traveler.
Huh. I don't know, he'd give me a shield I can't use. I think I'm good. What is going on over here? This is a very active cat in his sleep, and all of a sudden... Oh, his little whiskers are twitching and everything. Yes. Maybe the cat is also hunting roving threats in his sleep. Huh? What do you think, Joe? Yeah, Casper's laying against me, and I keep feeling him twitching up against my leg. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Herbert Nimble says, yeah, I never bought that, though I purchased most, if not all, of the earlier quest packs, but never bought anything after the Moria expansions, as that felt too far off for me. Yeah, we started playing in... Well, before played originally... Yep, Casper's up. When it first came out, but didn't stay through that, and then we started playing again. So first time for me, returning for him, in 2019, in January of 2019. And so as expansions would come out, at first we were like, well, do we bother? Like, is it useful? But because we were so far from that, but then there was like all sorts of goodies and mounts and pets and stuff like that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of nice. So we went ahead and started picking up stuff when it would come out so we could get all the goodies. And then we just know that eventually, you know, we'll play in that area, or, you know, we'll get there someday, and it's no rush. I mean, we really don't feel a rush in this game. Like, we're fine with just taking our time getting there. And by the time we get there, like, you know, we paid for it years ago. So that's okay. It's actually kind of funny because we were playing, there was a legendary server that came out. And on the legendary server, things go a lot slower. So it was a slow progression. What? Tell her daylight saving time starts soon. Oh, Herbert's talking about the dog. Doggy is annoying. It's 29 minutes to dinner. She started to squeal already. I didn't see it. Yeah. I totally forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, oh yeah, we were playing over on Treebeard. And Treebeard is a legendary server, or it was. And so the idea is that when the server first opened, it was only through area door. So only the through 1 through 50 areas that were open. So basically as the game was when it first opened, but with all the new stuff like the decent trait trees and all of that. So the game in its current form, but only up through level 50. And then after 6 months, oh hey, that looks like a roving threat. The next expansion, so the first expansion in that case, Moria opened. And so, you know, you waited 6 months before you could even go into Moria, for example. Oh yeah, I don't have that on. Weird. Oh, I got snowed. All right, cool. That is 3 out of the 4. Oh, hey, I can mark the map in case we want to come back for this guy again. Although I doubt it, but I can mark it. Okay.
So if you didn't miss one, there's only 1 space left.
Okay. I wish there was a way to like mark on this map, like gray it out. Be like, nope, I've already checked that one and there was nothing there. Because now I've kind of like forgotten which ones we've been to and which ones we haven't.
But what if it was in the middle of respawning? You don't know it's not there. You can't prove it's not there. You can only prove it is there.
Sure. Okay, so what before is saying is like, what if somebody else had just taken it out, and so it's in the process of respawning. So it is actually there. It's just not there at that moment. But I still wouldn't mind. That way it could be like, okay, we've checked all the gray ones. I'm going to go check the last one that isn't gray. Okay, it's none of these, so therefore it is in that state where it was respawning. As opposed to, have I checked this one? I don't know. We'll just go back and check it again. And then you end up checking like the same tool over and over again.
Well,
Hey, buddy. Casper's back.
I think when you're not streaming, it's pretty easy.
Somebody's hypothesizing that when you're not streaming, it's easier to keep track of everything. Maybe. All right, so we are currently headed... Where are we on the map? Oh, yeah, here we are. We're headed down. Oh, we're going to this one down at the very bottom of Giant Halls. Let's see what's down here. I'll tell you what, if you are looking for goods of, I think it's tier 4. Are you following me? This is a great place to come because you've got hides there, you've got iron stuff here, you've got scholar stuff here. So if you're ever trying to get, I think, is this tier? Oh, this is tier 5, my bad. So if you're looking for tier 5 materials, this is a great place to come and hang out. Oh yeah, and there's the branches. So you just make circles around and around here. Now, if you are on level, it can get a little scary. So you just have to like, you know, be cautious. But if you come, you know, like with a higher level character who can take care of everything for you, or you just come and get it later and feed it down to your lower level characters, that's also really handy. Oh, I'm gonna grab that silver. It's ancient. So ancient. You want me to move this pillow? Oh, maybe you didn't want me to move this pillow. Well, I moved it anyway. track here? Where am I going? Hang on a second. Let's check the map. It's the map. A little further on. Okay. Oh, Aphrodite's already on the way.
Oh, we missed one.
Oh, more silver.
All right. Now we get to do what you were just describing.
Okay, so apparently we are in the area and we're not seeing anything. Maybe it's a little further. Maybe not. Maybe it's not actually in the giant halls.
Oh, it's definitely not. Oh,
Just double checking.
I think it's just in some mountains.
What? Go back to Himberg?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have checked every place here and we're missing one. So one of them probably was in that just about to spawn situation, or, you know, was respawning from somebody else already taking it out while we were in its area. So we're going to do another loop and see if we can find the one that's missing. Now, I was of the opinion, and maybe this was not how it was, that in a place where there were roving threats, that it had like 3 locations that it would hover between. Like, it could be here, or it would spawn here, or it would spawn here.
Maybe each individual roaming threat has that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But within a day, it's always the same spot.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if we're looking for Grotherg... Oh, he's right here. Hang on, let me mark the map. Where are we? We are just south of Frimbarg, so it's there. Cool. We found you. Sorry, I'm trying to get out of the trees so it's a better view for you all, although this guy is super tall. Oh, no! Oh, he did a shattering thing and I walked right underneath his foot. That was silly of me. Hang on a second, I lost my mouse. Alright, let me maybe not stand underneath him. That would be smart. Hey, but we got rid of him anyway. I was trying to get far enough away so we could, like, look up at him and stuff. I was trying to go for the view and totally messed up the combat. That's okay. Alright, well, we need to go back to... Hey, can we just ride back up to...
I mean, yes, if you don't want to.
Is it close by? Nah, it's okay. I can take us back. Octave. There we go.
Actually, there is. Yeah.
You want to just roll us over to the stable master?
Well, I was thinking that there's an ancient threat near 2 of the other stable masters.
Oh,
They're not as convenient.
nah.
What do you want?
Go back to glowing. So now because we got the 4 from this region, so now we're going to go back and turn those in. I think this was like the first time I encountered a Roving Threats quartermaster was talking to this person. I was like, what are you talking about?
Well met.
So now, okay, here we go. I'll pull this up before I turned it in. So now there's this deed I have just picked up, which is the Misty Mountains Roving Threats. So I have completed 1 Misty Mountain Roving Threat. So now I can keep turning in the rest of
What
these
do you need?
and see it'll fill in the ones that I have done. Now you're known to Thorn's Hall. That's awesome. And then the last one,
Greetings.
boom. And then that completed the deed, which now it's over on my completed set. Bum, bum, bum. So, which is cool. So that gives me 5 Lotra points. The title Roving Defender of the Misty Mountains. And that. Cool. Now, I have also a plugin that B4 put together called the Deed Log. So under, you said race and social, yeah? Is where I'm going to find these,
Well, there's one in each region. That was in North Downs and then class specific.
Okay, so here's like Roving Threat Slayer. That's defeat 50 overall, then 150 overall, and then 300 in total. That's a race, no, it's a social deed. But then under each of the zones,
Go search for roving.
well, I needed to get into the right tab. But so there's a North Downs roving threat, as we just did. So roving threats in the North Downs. The Misty Mountains, one there. There's an Avendim. There's a roving threat, Avendim's roving enemies, which I haven't done. So you can see there's here, Ingmar, Forochel. But there isn't one in, for example, Bree, or the Shire, or Iriluen, you know. So they don't make it scary for everybody, but they do make it scary for some. Like, you could be running around in Avendim as a level, 50 character or whatever, and all of a sudden you run across, one of these level 100 guys, and you're like, whoa, did not expect that business. So, speaking of, where do you want to go? Avendim? Okay, cool. Let's do it. So that's going to be over here. Yeah. I am really enjoying using the map version of Travel Window 2. It's pretty awesome. Yep. Yeah, you're talking about, enjoying Lotro and playing by yourself and whatnot. I definitely enjoy playing with other people, and I try to, well, that's one of the reasons why we actually started playing Lotro, because I was like, hey, I want to play a game that we can play with other people, but something that we want to play together also. And so, we went looking for something that we would both enjoy, and was like, okay, it's probably going to be like an MMO, perhaps, something like that. And so then it was a question of, well, like, which one? And it's so funny because I came across Lotro, and, before was like, well, I've played that before, but it's been a long time. I was like, all right, well, so eventually I was like, yeah, that seems like the best one. Let's do that. Yeah, we've been enjoying this since then. Now, I definitely am enjoying the social aspects too, though. Like, there's a lot of, like Hobbit social stuff that happens, and there's music stuff that happens that I partake of that before does not, but I have made a number of friends in those spaces, and so I've been really enjoying playing and partaking in those spaces, even when before it's not in engaging in that as well. So okay, so let's pick up our roving threats here. We have Drogus the Chieftain. This is a Gardain across the lake, are not our allies, nor our greatest concern. However, the renewed threat in Innuminus has angered these mountain men. Their high chieftain, Drogus, commands their numbers. You must be careful, though. He has also command over wolves, as though he were a wolf himself. We have Sunath the Treacherous. Powerful Angmarim sorcerer has journeyed to Avendim. Perhaps he has come to lead an attack upon Innuminus. One thing is for certain, though. He must be dealt with. And lastly, Tarlug the servant. The Angmarim have brought a massive Gorthrog to Avendim. Tarlug is completely loyal to the Angmarim. He will carry out any of their orders without hesitation. I believe that this beast is helping the Angmarim discover and plunder tombs. We must stop their efforts before any more powerful artifacts are unearthed. Okay, so we've got 3 things to take care of here. I just want to look at the barter items real quick.
Greetings.
I think it's the same tapestry no matter where you go, right? Oh, there's also a Tome of the Pond Frog I don't have. Well, let me just grab that. Oh, hey, and I have inventory situation. Hang on. Grabbing a frog. And then, what's all this? Oh, I should consume that. I have a lot of stuff going on here. What can I get rid of? This is what we do over on the... So we do our regular questing together over on Peregrine. We have a kinship, and every Saturday, whoever's available, we get together and we go do some questing. So there's a group of 4 of us right now that are pretty active in that. But every so often my inventory's a mess, and B4 just takes all the stuff for me and deals with it. So that's how I manage my inventory. So, all right, I think that's everything. Oh, it might be one or two more things, but it's close enough. Why do I have that? Huh. I don't know. And what's this? Orc Medallion. Faction with the Rangers of Estelden. Apparently, I am not maxed with them, so sure, I'll consume that. That's funny. Oh, and then my instrument carry-all. We'll slurp that up. Reckless says, I tell my hubby off for that. He's a hoarder with inventory stuff. See, I appreciate B4 went ahead and got like a whole bunch of carry-alls. Actually, we both do have a bunch of carry-alls, but he's got, I think, a few more than me. And so he just like sort, you know, slurps it all into the right carry-alls, and we're good to go. So every so often, he will come and give me a hand with some inventory management. Yeah, over here, because I don't have his help in keeping track of everything as well as I do over on the other server.
Do you have...
Where you want to
What
go?
can I do for you?
Emma,
I think I've been everywhere.
do you have any nuts?
Oh yeah, probably.
Do I have any nuts? Do I have any for
How can I be of service?
All right, so we're going to Anuminas. Anuminas, do 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 do. Anuminas, do 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 do. Yeah. Kato has decided that my lap is better. She was going to do some couch time, but she's decided to come back for the lap. So the cats love, there's this black blanket behind me, and it's like, oh, what's the thing? It's squishy. You know, it's soft and squishy. And the cats love it, and they love just standing there and kneading on it. But now it was starting to fall apart a little bit, so I was out at, I don't know, getting some other stuff one day and found another blanket and another soft and squishy blanket. So I have provided that to the cats, and they have been definitely enjoying the kneading aspect of it. So we've got happy cats here at the moment. I feel like we should help them, but I guess they're okay. Reckless says, before the VIP thing, I used to have to ask him if he had done repairs before we started questing. Yeah, having your stuff fall apart in the middle of being out and questing is, oh, so frustrating, right?
This one is not here.
Oh, hang on, let's take a look at the maps. Let's pause for a second. Okay, so we're in Numinos, which is in Avendom. And so we're looking here at this spot. And, oh, I wonder if I can zoom out. Oh, you're on top of my mic cord again, baby. All right, I'll try. We'll see how it goes. Yep, so it looks like we would be about where that U is, and I think we're about where that U is, and not seeing it, so I agree. I think we're looking for the next one. You're such a goof. Still looking around just in case he went wandering or something. All right. So now we're going to go to the next one, which is what we're going to go. Oh, we're going to go over here, off to the side of the lake. No.
The one by the hill, and then go this way through the city.
I don't have one at Tilanoon. I don't think I see one at Tilanoon. I see one way over there.
Just north of us.
Weird. I don't share that circle. There was this one down here. We just did that one.
Right, I have a slightly modified version of the plugin. So I have a
Oh, okay. Hey, but this is a new place I hadn't been to, just did a discovery. So yeah, so what Reckless is referencing there, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, if you are a VIP subscriber, you can pick up this weekly thing called subscriber buffs, and it does a handful of things for you. One of which is keeps your stuff from degrading in battle and whatnot, so you don't end up having to repair your stuff constantly. Oh, hey. Do you want to help me with the Slayer Deed real quick? Well, let's see if I can take these out. Yeah, never mind. I need like 40 of those big guys. I don't know that I need any of those guys. Oh, I do. You're right. You know, since we're in the area. When we go back on the bridge, do you mind if we take our time taking out a few of them? Thank you. There's one sleeping one. Does he count?
Well, we can return back to Tinder or whatever.
Hang on, there's another one right below me here. When we were trying to figure out what I was going to do today, I was like, I didn't want to go back and do Mordor again because I'm getting kind of tired of Mordor. I wanted something, I don't know, to get me out and about a little bit more. And so I was like, well, we could do Slayer Deeds. And we were like, well, there's not a lot of Slayer Deeds we have left that we need on the other server, because we basically do them as we go while we're questing. But where are you going? Just looking around?
Yeah. And take us back to
Oh. Well, can we do the rest of this bridge real quick? Because there was some more on the bridge. Thank you. But yeah, I have a lot of Slayer Deeds on this server I haven't done with this character. She leveled up, but there's a lot that's unfinished on the way back. So one of my kind of like, you know, to-do list items with this character is to go back and do a lot of her Slayer Deeds. But I haven't really been too focused on it. So it's just really funny when I run across something like an area like this that is so much lower level than my character, and just be like, oh yeah, let's do that. Like, yeah. All right, I don't think there's any more on the bridge, right? Yeah, just these guys. Okay. Shall I take us back?
I mean, if you want them, there's usually one or two around the corner.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You know, that just gets me a little bit further on my Slayer deed. That's nice. That's true. I think did I just max reputation with these guys? Okay, now I'll take us to Avondale. Yes, I'm now the Warden of Annuminous. I am kindred with Annuminous. I wasn't before, which is even funnier.
Okay. We do actually want to be in New Rush on the west side.
What do you need?
Oh no. Aphrodite needs to talk to the stable master. They have not been yet introduced. So yeah, so I try to keep my VIP up to date. It lasts for 2 weeks, for 14 days. So I try to make sure I'm always active on that, the subscriber buffs, because yeah, it prevents your item wear from crafting, combat, and defeat, which does happen to me once in a while. And also accelerates your crafting time, which is really fun. Did you talk to the stable master?
Yeah.
Right here?
Oh, you need to be friend standing with the winner of the Numenor Stone Bucket.
Oh. Well, we could take out more stuff.
No.
No, I mean, just every time we take out stuff, it's giving you reputation.
Yeah.
And also is helping me with my Slayer Dean.
I don't think we'll be back.
Okay, that's true. We won't be back that often. That's true. Oh, I could have just got the campsite fire, but I guess I have that Gathburs. Don't know why I have it there. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we are going to go check along this coast here. What'd you say? And see if our roving threat, any of our roving threats are over there. Goofy cat. I like Numenor. There's just, I don't know. Maybe it's the music, it's the kind of ethereal-esque music. It is a little bit like elvish feeling at times, even though it's like totally a race of man place. I don't know. Something peaceful-esque about it. Alright, so we are looking this area. We're not quite there yet. Hi, there he is. And you see how he's kind of got like this green glow over his head, so that's kind of a giveaway. And then also, if you hover over it, it says Rare Arch Nemesis in purple there. So that should also help. Oh my goodness, that was wild. It fell off my steed mid-air. Before it says more Numenorian, which is elven inspired. Yeah, I guess that's why. It's just very elvish kind of feeling to me. Oop, I got his attention. I'll just dance around this tree. Whee! That's insane. Thanks for the healing. There we go. Easy peasy. I mean, actually, that wasn't bad. That was kind of funny. Yay. Oh, yeah, I should mark that on the map. Boop. I was going to say, do you not want to go right up the coast? Yeah, probably not.
It stops being coast.
That's true. It stops being coast at some point. You just kind of like... Because I've tried doing the whole coast, and I think you end up in the water. I mean, which is not a bad thing. Like, swimming around in Ibendum is nice. And Everswim. It's nice. It's nice. All right. What do you think? Should we...
To the top master.
Yeah, let's go to the docks and go up to Eve Spires? Yeah.
What can I do for you?
All right. Hey, sweetie. I have a cat paw right there. So I know that there's a roving threat out here because, let me pull up the map. So we're up here, and sometimes you'll be out here questing and you just run across them, which again, when you're a low level character, it's a bit unnerving. But there's one that hangs out. You want to go up that way first?
Well, it's up in the hills.
Well, there's one that ends up down, walking around down there sometimes.
Check it out first.
Just because I was right here.
Look at the size of its teeth.
I don't. Yes, the field hare. Oh no! Look at the size of its teeth. Indeed. All right, so we don't think that's there at the moment. Yeah, I suppose it might not have spawned in, though. We should probably get in the area. Oh, you're being chased by the hare. Look out, look out, look out. You know, I am surprised in Valheim that the hares are not dangerous. They just run away.
They lead you to danger.
Yeah, they might lead you to danger, but they themselves are not. Okay, so we are here by the N. And so we're going to run our way up to, like, north of the N, up by that campfire. Wah! Mount says no. He's such a goof. He's so silly. So yeah, it's so fun, because yeah, like I said, you'll be just walking along here, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, a level 100 thing, yoinks.
I would say no.
Let's see. We should see it in this area if it's here. And I am not seeing anything at this time. It's interesting. My stuff keeps fading in and out, though, which is interesting. Like, the landscape, it goes, like, blank for a second, as if I've gone to 0, or not, like a low res, and then it fills all the stuff back in.
I mean, that could be a good sign that we should cancel everything.
Yeah, as I said, I don't know if that's a Lotro thing or a my computer thing. I did have a computer crash just this past weekend. So we're still kind of assessing what things are in good shape and which things are not. So it could be a Lotro problem. Maybe we should reinstall. Or it could be a my computer problem, I should say, sorry. Okay, so now we're headed down here by the E. Oh, that looks like a big guy. Oh, no, it's not. It's just a chieftain. He's just a normal giant. He's a big guy.
Oh, I would say this sounds over this way. Take us back to Avon.
I remain unsatisfied that it's not here, but I guess it's possible. Okay. I'll take us back to Avondale. We'll check the other side. So, what are you working on today on your plugging along stream?
Well, probably festival, buddy. What
Woo!
festival coming up?
So, there, with Spring Festival being like a week and a half away, Before is thinking Festival Buddy. Alright, where are we going?
How can I be of service?
Okay, whoops, I just closed it. King's Crossing. Okay. Hi, King's Crossing. Hi. So, cool thing is I have a boat, a dockmaster at my house, and so I can get here from my house. Isn't that fun? I think it's fun. Okay, so, whoops. For some reason, I am not following. Paused. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now we're down King's Crossing here. So we are looking for the roving threats that are out this way. Along, well, not along the road, but kind of along the trees, really. So yeah, so for those of you who are new or have lost track of the time, after my stream in, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, will be B4's stream plugging along, and he will be going over Lord of the Rings plugins and doing some development of plugins on stream, including today working on Festival Buddy 2. So Festival Buddy existed, but it was not being kept up to date. And so before was doing a lot of stuff to add like patches and whatnot. And after a while, it's like, well, we could just, you know, take what was there and build on it and create basically a new plugin that is then kept up to date by him with all sorts of festival, updates and additions and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm also not seeing anything right here. Okay. Now I have noticed that roving threats, you know, rove around. So, and the roving threats map doesn't seem to indicate like their region of like their area where they go. So I always figure it could be like if somebody else was in the area, a player, and rode by and it spawned, like it could have wandered off a little bit. So that's why I was kind of like checking the area as well. All right, so what's the next one though? Oh, is this kind of around here, isn't it?
The next two are up by Oostfor Road.
So the next one. Oh, yeah, okay. So back to,
Back to turn
yeah. Okay. Little sand lurker come to say hello. Hello. He's protecting me from the rain. Okay, so now we're going to head north up to Oostforod. Oostforad.
Greetings.
And look around up there. If you're trying to get to Forochel, that's the route that you would take, is up through there. So, oh, whoops, I got cat hairs. So like up this way, and then that road, yeah, leads you up to Forochel. So, or Forochel. I think it's probably a little bit more Finnish sounding, but I think they have a kind of a, like a or, you know, sound there, perhaps. Okay, so now we're gonna look in. We're gonna go up to this one probably, and then over probably towards that one last.
We've been everywhere else, so these are the last two spots.
Oh, I'm not following. Sorry. All right, here we go. Get past that unfriendly man. He's so unfriendly. Yes, if you're going to get up, you're going to have to take your claws out of my coat. She was very well settled, but she had kind of like made herself very comfy there. Hey, silly cats. Silly cats. Yeah. Oh, I just keep passing right by these gold deposits. I'm like, oh, for real? All right, well, if we do end up reinstalling, have to remember to save off all of my preferences first, because I've done a lot of key binding, and I'm so glad not to have to redo all that. I was a little nervous about how much of my computer was going to be unrecoverable, but I've been thankfully very lucky. Hey, that looks like a roving threat there. That looks like they know we're here. You might have said hello. Love how the Tomb Raider's just standing there, like, not even paying attention. Oh, he's about to scorch some earth. Watch out. Cool. I don't think I need Tomb Raiders. All right, cool. Oh, hey, I'm going to mark that on the map. I don't think we're coming back here today, but just in case, just so we know where we've been and what we got. Okay, so we have one more to go find. Ooh, I'm curious what the Spring Festival outfit stuff's going to be like this year. I seem to get a lot of good mileage out of the Spring Festival outfits. So, that'd be cool. Dude, I'm grabbing that gold. I don't know how much gold I have on this server, and that stuff's handy to have sometimes. Okay, I'm here. I'm with you. I think it's time for me to submit some songs to the Music League. It's the last week, I believe. I'm solidly in the middle, so I'm not the lowest, but I'm definitely not going to win this round, but that's okay. I don't have any ideas for what the next round would be anyway. So there's a whole goblin encampment over there. If you're ever looking for goblins in Avondom, that's where they're going to be. Over there. This is such a wild area because it's like, it feels like nobody comes up here. It just feels kind of, I don't know, so quiet. But it is kind of cool. I love it when we end up doing quests up here. And that's one of the things I really like about these Roving Threats, is it kind of gives you a chance to, go out and see places that maybe you haven't been to in a while, or maybe you never went to. And I don't know, it's kind of fun. I like it. The Duskin Cleft.
Switch the C and L together. Duskin Depth.
Oh, look at that view. That's nice. All right. So hopefully we'll find one more over here. Well, I just bounced down that hill. That was wild.
Always in the last place you look.
It's always in the last place you look, which is good, because if you kept looking, you'd be kind of silly. All right. Put a little trap down to say hello. Oh, he pulls up a totem. Interesting. Oop. Cool. All right. That was... Oh yeah, and then I don't think it matters, but I'll go ahead and mark it just in case we're like, yeah, we want to go back for some reason today. Okay, so now we're going to go turn these in because we got all three of them. All right, they thank me for the efforts. May the mountain slopes once again be quiet and peaceful.
What do you need?
May we soon chase the last of the Angmarim out of Numinous and reseal the city's ancient tombs. And the last one.
How can I be of service?
May we soon chase the last of the Angmarim out of Numinous and reseal the city's ancient tombs. Okay, so roving defender of Avondom. Bum, ba, bum. Well, do you want to do one more? Or do you want to prepare for your stream?
One more time.
Okay, we'll do one more. Yeah, where should we go?
Well, next one in order is Angmar. But there's also Forochel.
Let's do that. So I'll take us to Srikala. So we might have to do we might do Angmar next week or something, because I don't think I want to do that. today. It's too dark and foreboding. Okay, so now we need to go talk to whoever the quest giver is, and I assume they're in here.
There's a little ring.
Well, that's true. So on the Roving Threats map, there is a ring. Oh, let me get to Forochel. There's a gold ring, and if you hover over it, it says RT Threats, to kind of let you know where you need to go in order to find the Roving Threats person. So that's this person right here. So we have 4 of them here. We have a Juggernaut slave. He says, we care for our mammoths. They are valuable creatures for travel and protection from the northern storms. The Garadane do not hold the mammoth in as high regard. They corrupt them and raise them with hatred. The largest of their mammoths is Gronkerna. It says, I warn you, the creature is deadly. Its rider can barely control the beast. Sadly, this menace needs to be dealt with. We have a brutal chieftain, a Garadane chieftain known as Forochel. He's on the move. His tribe has already murdered many Lossoth over the years, and now that he's out in the open, it is our time to strike. He says, I wonder if his movements are connected to these foul winds from the east. We have a treacherous wight. Something sinister stirs in my land. We Lossoth feel a foul wind blowing from the east. The winds brought with them a creature we call Mustarka. This terrifying wight from Angmar disrupts the balance in my icy land. It searches for something, perhaps a treasure, and kills anything in its path. We help to protect this cold north. And we have an undying giant. An evil seeps through the ice like water running off a glacier in spring. I have seen a giant wandering the frozen plains. You may not believe me, but it is not a creature of the living. His skin is decayed, frozen, and there's a strange glow around him. Could it be a wight, or perhaps something worse? My people my people need less to fear. Tales of this giant they call Uku Surma are already starting to spread. So let's help these folks not have scary things to talk about. Look at geese. So, looking at the Roving Threats map, let's see, we are up here in Forochel. There is one that is potentially outside the gate. So that would be the first place to check. So we are needing to go northish by the A in Forochel. Not in the water though. Oh, I think I remember finding this one up here before. Or finding one here before. But I have to say I'm not seeing anybody. Oh, never mind. Maybe I am. Maybe this one. Boy, that is some wild looking thing, isn't it? It's very pretty. Oops. Oh, it's on me. No, I was just letting you know. Okay, so as far as that goes, we found one. Okay, so the next one is down the road. And this way. Towards Jaranit. I like how the road is just slightly darker to run through here, and then they went ahead and put these markers here to help you find the road. That's kind of handy. Not that you have to stay on the road, but you know, if you wanted to. Oh, I guess we maybe have to go this way anyway. Let's check the map. Yeah, we need to go to just outside the J there. Old habits. Somebody just typed into world chat, hello, fellow Laura, or sorry, good evening, Laurelyn. It's like, it's not Laurelyn anymore. It's probably not here, yeah. Okay. So the next one is down the road some more. So let's keep rolling. Down on the way towards Pinty Peldot. Now I think we have to get back up to the road. Maybe? Let's see. Oop. Oh, well, this will get us there. Yeah, it's just right over here. Because there are some places where there's like a cutout and the only way to get across is like a bridge or something. I should ask or any Finnish friends how they pronounce Forochel and see what they say. I mean, we could do war steeds if we didn't want to be like crazy. It's very easy to go careening off an edge here. So yeah, maybe not. This is definitely one area where going off-road is sometimes okay, but sometimes definitely not okay. Yeah, here we go. Like this bridge, this ice bridge here. Yeah, you don't want to. But this, like, you can't get across easily, I don't think, down below. Maybe you can. There's definitely some places where it's like, oh, I have to get all the way back up to the road because I can't. There's not a traversable space around something. Okay. Not too much further. And we're looking for that spot there. So just past these. Oops. Probably, oh, maybe we need to go up here? And if we did, I think I missed it. Let's see. Or is it around? Yeah, okay.
It's a large space.
Oh, maybe around this side. Well, hopefully it's not up on top. Because if it is, we need to go around the other way. All right, we're thinking a no on this one. So we'll keep going towards Pinty Peldot, which I think was this way. Yeah. And we go this way. Okay. So the next one is basically follow the road past Pinty Peldat. We could do that. And then it's tucked up here by the trees, okay? So over here, maybe? Thinking this area, maybe. Oh no, maybe a little further on. Yeah, up here maybe. Voitelta. Well, let's see. Maybe a little further over. Yeah, not seeing anything roving
Yeah, do you want
threat-ish.
to go the one north on the coast from there?
Whatever makes sense. We could, you think you go up and then come back down, or?
I mean, yeah, you're probably right. If we
I think
continue
we
this
keep on the
route,
road, yeah.
there's more chances.
Okay, so back towards the road-ish. Okay, so I want to get to there. Yes, that's right. Oops. Hey, buddy. There you go. One of the cats has returned. Okay, so possibly around here. Let's see. Let's look at the map again. Maybe a little further. Yeah, this way. So there's groups of people who go out and do like roving threats together. Like on the weekends, I can't remember who was leading it, but one of the streamers, she was doing a lot of, you know, roving threat Saturday, and they would go from server to server and do this. Because it's a lot more fun to, you know, it's a nice social gathering, do it with a bunch of people, right? All right, so I'm thinking this spot is probably a no, unless I missed it.
We'll get your mouse slash out to see what kind of
Okay, so the next one is going to be... So if that's the point of the hook there, we'll just keep rolling this way, I think. Oh, I need to go back north around all of this. So I guess we'll follow the road. Okay, so going all the way up there on the other side of the green stuff. So basically need to go north of where we are. Yeah, I'm running into a mountain.
Go west.
We're like, more north. There's a mountain problem. More west. I'm also checking to see if maybe there's something in one of these, you know, crevices. Alright, so maybe it's this way. Oh, did I lose you?
My options screen needed to close.
Yeah, sorry. I'll pause for a second here while I look at the maps. I keep doing this where I'm like trying to look around the corner on like with my body. Yeah. Okay, so north from here. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, like right around here. Well, I think this is a no.
Well, this is where it should be.
Yeah. Okay. So next one, which is up this way.
Do you have waypoints installed?
I don't know. Okay, hold on. I'm being asked if I have waypoint.
Oh,
I do not.
if you install it real fast, I can show you the full chart.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose we still do have 3 to go. Okay, I'm gonna install a plugin called Waypoint. Oh, but I don't have it here, so I'll have to go get it.
Just open a good plugin compendium and you'll be good to go.
So hang on, I'm getting the Lotro plugin compendium up here in the background. You could be writing us to the next one if you wanted to. Okay. Okay, so I need to get waypoints. So you can't see this on my screen, and I'm not going to change my configurations, but I'm just going to go and look for waypoint from Lunawater, and I'm going to add. So now it has been installed. So then I go to here, and I should be able to refresh. What's that?
You're killing me. Stop. Don't. If you reopen the plugin manager, there's a green arrow. Click the green arrow.
Ah, here we go. This little recycle refresh button. That's what I was looking for. And now I should have waypoint on there, and now I can load it.
So in Roving Threat,
Yeah, so in the Roving Threat plugin, there should be a way to use it.
just alt-click on the ring that we're going to.
Okay, so alt-click on the ring I'm going to,
And now you have,
and now it's showing me the direction to go.
well, you'll need to click on it to yes.
Hmm?
And clicking on it does a /LSC.
Oh, it's giving me an LOC by clicking on it. So it'll help keep me on track. Nice. Hey, look, there's a roving threat.
Alright.
Alright, how do I get rid of this arrow?
In the upper right of it, this little close.
Okay. Oops, a little bear. Hello, friend. Okay. Yay! We found one. That was that one. Okay, so we didn't check that one on the coast yet.
There's 2 more.
And we didn't check those two, and we didn't check that one to the south. So I think we should go... Okay, so you said alt... No, control click?
Alt.
Oh, alt. Alright, let's go to this one. Because the other one I could port us to Sorikaila and then... Oh, you might not have the ability to ride over. Never mind.
I would guess not.
Right. There's... what I was talking about is there's a stable master at the end where we might be trying to go, but you have to... It's reputation locked. And we're going to guess that Apfel doesn't have that reputation. Probably not. Okay, this is definitely a lot faster for keeping me on track. That's nice.
And you can reopen the arching map. It just puts on that.
All right, we're definitely on the right track for this one. Skigos, he says, love the /charge from the Hobbit. Yeah, I know, it's so good, isn't it? Yeah, Before says it's the best. Before uses that as a kind of like a reminder to when we're doing kinship stuff to be like, let's go, or everybody click on the thing. You know, it's like a try to coordinate, which is great. Okay, so where am I supposed to be going? And where actually am I? Okay, we're going to this point out here. Got it. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Before it says, like, when the 4 of us are about to interact with an NPC that is going to run away, he does, like, a, yeah, /charge to get everyone to synchronize. Which is lovely because there's definitely times when we're like, you know, you can do that. Oh, hey, I've discovered the lonesome stones. Okay. You can do a, you know, touch it once, touch it twice, or whatever. And then, or, you know, oh, you know what? My inventory's full. Hang on, take some stuff real quick. Yeah.
And then there's 70 spots free.
Come here. That's probably why I was standing next to that stuff and couldn't take it. Oh, mouse thing is hard. Wow, he's got stuff. Okay, we'll just do more of it in a minute. He's got an aura. Dread. That's wild. All right, well, shall we? Oh, I must have pushed something, or you did. Oh, okay. We're gonna sell him some gold dye. I'm sure it'll be great. I think you should pick up those things. Otherwise, I will. Did he just knock you back? Oh my god, that's delightful. That was great. Your whole thing just went flying.
Now I can't pick up my stuff out
That was so good. What did we do another time? There was something else when we did that.
If you have it when you teleport, then you can spin.
That's it. If you have it open and you teleport, then you can start spinning. It's so wild. Yeah. Hang on, I'm going to give you more stuff, though. Because...
I only have 66 spaces.
Yeah. Only 66 spaces, whatever. Trying to flex over there.
Is that full?
I doubt I'm going to get to 50 open spaces. I got a lot in my inventory that still needs to be figured out where it's going. Hey, you want some fish? There's some fish. It's from a fishing event I went to, and I don't know what to do with these fish.
Sure.
Probably supposed to give them to a fisher to a cook, but I just yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. That was here. We found one. So we need one more, and it's either down here or it's one of those two. Yeah? What do you want to roll the dice?
The two that are next to each other?
Okay. All right. So, oops. Hop up on your horse and follow me. All right, let's go. Yeah, that was fantastic. You got some good laugh in there from Skagosi in the chat.
7 weird fish.
Yeah, I know. There was some. I was fishing. It was a fishing event.
Yeah.
Eh.
Well, now I only have 65 spaces.
All right, so hopefully this will. Yeah, it's like I came to get this ancient silver, and I think nothing happened because I didn't have any room in my inventory. So sad. So sad. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully we don't get caught for copyright for that one.
100% of the song.
That was 100% of the song. Okay, so how do we get to out of here? I guess we just can follow the coast for a while? No, eventually that becomes not trackable, I think. Yeah, maybe we go around this way. Alright, so, and then I want to get us to probably that one. Okay. Cool. Nope, can't go that way. Nope. Nope. Or maybe can we just keep going this way?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, let's find out. Yeah, that doesn't lead us anywhere.
Like here, at the end of the mountain.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess the mountains are kind of like ending there on the map. Okay, so we're just about out of that area. Now we can turn. Make a hard turn, I think. I think eventually you run out of space to ride along the coast there, and eventually it kicks you out. So we had to get it back out onto this kind of flatter space, I think. Yeah, I gotta remember where I put that caravan thing, because that thing is so good. I had it on one of my things, but now I can't remember where I put it. Oh, here's some more ancient silver. Oh, grab that. Let's see. Fave TV says, hello, are you at level 154? I am at level 154, and Affodil is at 159. But we're, yes, from doing festival. Yeah, that's how we get there. We had done a lot of effort to get up to 150 when that was the cap, so that way we could do delvings, because those are great, excuse me, for when you want to get legendary item reward track experience. And sometimes that is something I really want, so that was really handy. But then, yeah, the cap went up to 160, and so we're not there yet. But there is a festival coming in a week and a half, so that'll be nice. Get some more experience going again on our characters. Fave TV asks, is there a level cap? Yes. Yeah, 160 is the current level cap. It just... Oh, yeah, okay, except on legendary servers. That's true. Yeah, sure. Sorry, having some chapped lip action today. Alright, so... we are getting close to where we think this thing might be. Oh, hey, that might be him. He looks unusual. Whoa, my thing turned into a sword. It's a sword now. All right, well, let's say hello. I think he's doing an emote. Yay! Okay, thank goodness that is the last one. Yay! Whoops. Let me take us back to Forochel. We can turn these in. Woohoo! Skakosi says my cat looked at me strangely because I laughed out loud. That's awesome. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Let's see. 007 Goofy says, is there a main campaign, and if so, what's the storyline? Yeah, B4 says there is. The epic storyline parallels the Lord of the Rings books. So basically, because we are not named characters in the Lord of the Rings books, Tolkien did not have that forethought to include all of us. So what we are is basically interacting with some of those named characters from the books, but interacting in a way where we are helping out in ways that would assist the fellowship. So for example, you know, if they've been somewhere and they're walking through a forest and it's like, can you go and kind of like cover any tracks they may have left behind? You know, things like that. So, so we're assisting, like, it kind of widens out the story in terms of like all these little breadcrumbs of, you know, hey, Saruman is doing this kind of stuff and this is kind of weird, and like Sauron's been building armies and making connections and, you know, pulling threads in all sorts of interesting ways for quite a while. And so it takes some of those breadcrumbs and flushes it out into a wider story. So like you may have the where they're talking about, you know, how using smog would really help with, you know, the plans that were set in motion a while ago. And so smog had become not necessarily a witting ally, but was being used by Sauron to help, you know, bring down the strength of the free peoples. Yeah, it's a really clever way to do it. And then I really like also because what you have is what's called the epic storyline. And so you are in your own set of books. So for example, we have, let me scroll down here just a little more. So Epic Volume 1, Book 1, Stirrings in the Darkness. And so then there is a Book 1, Chapter 1 in there. And so it's like unraveling the thread, and it's trying to figure out, you know, so like you go through chapter 1 and then you have a chapter 2. And so there are quests in there that take you through what is basically your own story, your own books. And so there's 4 epic volumes, And that's the point at which Lord of the Rings ends, basically. Well, that's the point at which, you know, the ring has been thrown in Mount Doom, you know, explodes, and yeah, spoilers, all of that. So that's the end of book 4. Then there's like a separate book called the Black Book of Mordor, and that takes you into Mordor, and you're doing a bunch of stuff there, and kind of dealing with the power vacuum that has been created. And Gandalf has got you on all sorts of quests and stuff. And then there's this, in order to kind of make some sense out of everything, there's 4 different allegiances that you can work with that are doing things in the Mordor area. So there's an allegiance like Gondor, like the King of Gondor allegiance, and I don't know if I have these. Let me think. Because we've started doing these over on a different server, but oh yeah, okay. So here we go. So the 4 allegiances for that region are the Kingdom of Gondor, Hobbits of the Company, Durin's Folk, and the Court of Lothlorien. And so you can join each of these factions, and then they have kind of like a little outpost in the Mordor region, or dealing with Mordor. And then you go and you do quests for them also to help out with what's going on over in Mordor. And then there's a book 5, which I think is mostly the wedding. Or is that where King's Gondor comes in? There's stuff that's beyond where I have quested. So I have all the expansions and all the goodies that come with all the expansions. But there's a lot of questing that I have not yet done. So even though my character is level 154, I have not done the entire storyline. Now, another fun thing is, you can follow just the main storyline, and I would highly recommend that if that's your first time playing, is you're going to get all these little side quests and just kind of ignore those for now. Just try to stay focused on the epic line. And if there's other things you can do while you're doing that, go for it. But I would say spend most of your time focused on the epic line, with the exception that, like, if you are really enjoying an area, then go spend some more time. Like, there's some really lovely quests that you can do over in Breeland. So let's see. Let me pop over there real quick. I'm a hunter, so I have a whole slew of travel skills that your average person does not have. Fife TV says, can you tell me a little bit about your character build and class? So I am playing a Hobbit. So I am a Hobbit, and she is a hunter. And so in the hunter build, there's 3 options. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. You have the blue line, which is you're very agile. A lot of the skills that you have, you can do while you're moving. So you do some damage, but you're not like the highest DPS of the hunter options, but you can do everything while you're on the move. So that gives you some flexibility. There's also the red line, the bowmaster, and that is your glass cannon. That is like doing more damage. You can do things. You've got 10 extra range that you can do. Normally range is like 30. This gives you 40. So you can see things earlier and get some shots in on them before a lot of other classes can, and before they can, generally, which is nice. But most of it is standing still, and you're pretty well, static. So that can be useful depending on the situation. I have often gone in redline, but recently they retooled some of this, and it's not as strong as it used to be, and blue line is great, so I've kind of switched into the mobility side. And then yellow line is the trapping, so crowd control, setting traps to hold a thing down, shooting it so that it decreases its run speed, all sorts of stuff like that, rooting, a lot of that kind of skills. So it's also not as strong as the red line, but it allows you to kind of hold things in place a little bit more, or slow things down, stuff like that. Yeah, B4 plays a minstrel, and I just left you behind in Surrey Kylo there. Sorry, honey. Yeah, before says minstrels are bestrels. So before definitely enjoys playing a minstrel. Yeah, so like out here in Bree, there's like a whole bunch of little like mini hubs of things going on. So, and some of the Epic line will send you out here. So for example, at one point, you're north of Breetown, and they want you to interact here with Chief Watcher Grimbriar and Watcher Rosecane, and then also with this dwarf over here, Lofar Ironband. And they sometimes have extra quests that you could go and be doing in this region. So, like, here, let me maximize this. So, if I'm here, the quests they've got me doing are kind of in this general area. And so, there's some real fun quests that you can do, you know, in space. So, even though you may be focusing on the Epic line, I would, you know, if you find that you're really enjoying his space, do some extra quests there. Just have fun with it, you know. The other problem you're going to run into with Lotro, especially early on, is that the quests give you experience, and you've got your experience bar down here at the bottom. Now I'm running with a skin on mine, so it makes it look green and gray and stuff. Like you know, I'm using like kind of a Hobbit-y theme skin, but normally it's a blue bar at the bottom. It's blue, this extra experience bar. So when people are talking about their blue bar, that's what they're talking about. This blue. Mine is green, but it's normally blue. And so every day you're trying to gain experience, and every time you're doing a quest, you're going to get experience, and it's going to increase that experience bar, and then you're going to level up and so forth. And so, you know, this is your leveling experience bar at the bottom. You are going to get so much experience just by doing the quests on a daily basis that you're going to out level the area. So if I were to pick up a quest here, I'm trying to think if there's any quests I haven't done here. I've pretty well quested out Bree, I think, but these are like, I don't know, level 20-ish, let's say. And pretty soon I'm like level 30, level 35. Now you get less and less experience the higher you are versus the quest that you're doing, so that experience is going to slow down, but you're still going to keep getting, you know, experience. And you're like, dude, I'm just trying to do this area. So what a lot of people will do is they go into the Lotro store, which is here in the game, and you can use in-game currency to buy these things, so you don't have to spend real world money, but these are called Lotro points. That's the currency here, this little gold coin. And there's a thing called the Stone of the Tortoise, or it's also called a leveling experience disabler. And for 100 Lotro points, you can purchase this. And if your character equips it, it becomes bound to your character, so you can't trade it around. But your character can put that on, and then you are getting no more experience. It you know, it halts all of your experience. Which can be really useful when you're trying to keep questing in an area and you don't want to be hugely overleveled. So that can be a really nice thing to do for that. So keep an eye out for that. And if you forget that, don't worry. The Lotro community is super nice. You can always pop into a stream. You can always pop into world chat and ask questions, because people are super helpful and generally a pretty mature acting crowd, you know what I mean? Like, willing to help out, willing to answer questions, all of that sort of thing. Now, you asked dungeons and raids. Yes, there are dungeons and raids. In the... Was it Instance Finder? Yeah. So the Instance Finder is a little wonky. It could do with an overhaul, but the basic gist of it here is... here, I'm going to collapse this. So I'm going to click on this little thing and collapse this. So just so you know, but there's like different categories you have here. So you've got epic battles, which are a whole other thing. But basically instances and then non-scaling instances are going to be your bread and butter in terms of like your dungeons and things like that. There's also skirmishes, and you can do defensive or offensive, and there's one survival one. But the defensive ones are a lot of fun. The offensive ones are also very interesting at times. I do love Trouble in Tuckborough, actually. So those are another place where you can go in with other people and be taking on various things. And most of them are 1, 2, 3, or 6, and there are a few 12-player groups, and then there's a couple. There's like 124, I think. So the reason why I say it's a little janky is because maybe you want to run this and you'll see like stuff over here, but it doesn't clump you automatically. It doesn't work like that. I mean, it's supposed to, and maybe it does, but don't even worry about that. There's an LFF channel, so looking for fellowship channel. And so that's where people will group up if you don't have a group like already and you're like, hey, I'm, really want to do the Great Barrow. That's a one that people enjoy a lot. And there's like 3 pieces of it. And so sometimes people are trying to go through there because their character is of that level. And they're like, yeah, I want to do this. And like, so this person is looking for people to run it with them. But if you, and so that person there, and like, but if you click on that and say, group me in or whatever, it doesn't seem to like, I can't quite make it work. So what you do is you just message that person. You'd be like, hey, I want to do this with you. Can you grab me or whatever? Or you put something in the Looking for Fellowship channel, LFF channel, and be like, hey, I want to run, Sambrog and at level 20, and can somebody come with me? So you'll get people who are interested in running stuff with you for sure. You just have to ask out there. So there's a lot of really good dungeons and stuff to go into. And every time that Lotro makes more, actually I should undo these so you can just see how the volume. Every time Lotro makes another expansion, which they basically do once a year, they are adding more raids and stuff. And they go back and forth. But lately they've been trying to make sure to add raids for the people who are at cap level, because that seems to be a demand. But there's a lot of good stuff to do in between. And also, once you're above, I think, level 100, yeah, there's this thing called the featured instance, and you could run that, and it gets you some extra benefits. And so I haven't really engaged with that, but there are people who every week will be like doing those featured instances, and that takes you back into stuff that you haven't done in a while. And then my favorite are the seasonal ones, because during festival time there'll be certain ones that are active. So you'll see these are all grayed out right now because they're not open, but when that particular festival is open, then these instances are open, and I enjoy going and doing those. So yeah, there's a very robust dungeon abilities, and it's just a matter of connecting with people and getting that going. There's some really good stuff there. So so Fuff TV was saying, wish it wasn't so expensive, but before it does point out it's free to play all the early stuff, and you say you did that, but it felt like it was mandatory to have some expansions to play. The only things, I think all of the like up through level 90 is free to play, I think, at this point. So I don't think, there might be something in Moria maybe, which is like level 60 stuff, but I think they periodically open more and more and more stuff to, like, they basically take all the older stuff and just open it and make it free. So, I would say that you've got at least a couple of years worth of content before you might even bump up against anything that you'd need to pay for. So, but it's really up to you what you want to do. Now, another thing too is they do put the expansions in the Lotro store for Lotro points. You can earn Lotro points by doing deeds in the game, like, slay 50 bears in the Shire or whatever. And so that's a way to earn Lotro points that then you could use to buy the expansions for the game. So you never have to spend any real world money if you don't want to. It just means you might have to, work at getting some Lotro points for that. So, Faith TV was asking about a code. So they do a weekly giveaway code. So let me put in freebie. So this week you can get some free violet dye, which is nice. The code is very good. Over the summer of 2020, and then 2021, and then again, I think 24 maybe in 25. Lotro did a big code each of those years where it gave you a whole bunch of things that were still costing money, and like a huge list of stuff. So I would keep an eye out for that as well. Now the anniversary is coming up in April, and it's the 19th anniversary of the game. So I expect there will be some good sales then, and possibly some coupons. And then keep an eye out over the summer, because sometimes in the summertime is when they've been doing those really generous codes to open up a lot of stuff for free. So yeah, and then so 007 Goofy asked about clans or guilds, and Raycon mentioned that they're called kinships. So yeah, so you can join a kinship, and it gets you you can chat with the people in your kin online. You can go, you'll have there's this social panel. So the first tab is shows you everybody who's online, who's not marked themselves as anonymous. So right now there's 832 people non-anonymous online here at the moment. You can type people in as friends and add them as a friend, so you can keep an eye on when they're around. But then there's also kinships, so then you can see, well, who in your kinship is online, and then you can interact with them in the game and so forth. Raycon is also here on Mary. Very excellent. It's a great server. What can I say? And also you can get some travel skills by being in a kinship. So I have a travel to kinship house travel skill, which takes me directly to the house of our kinship, which is located in the Shire homestead. So that's a really handy place for me if I want to go out into the Shire and do stuff and all of that. So yeah, and before point out that currently I think all of this game up to Minas Tirith and maybe Mordor is included in free to play. So I think we're talking 90, possibly 100 that your character can get to in just playing for free. So 007 asks, are you able to get flying mounts? Raycon does point out that would not be very lore friendly. That is correct. That would not be lore friendly to have flying mounts. We don't fly here. So, hello. Let's see. I thought that might be you. That's great. And then there's a bear standing up in the water behind you. And I thought that for a second, I thought I was on Angmar or Mordor. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's a wraith. Watch out. 007 Goose says it would be interesting if they did a reverse campaign where you get to play as the orc side. Well, funny you say that, because there is something kind of that, not exactly, but it's there's an area called the Ettenmoors, and you can play as spiders, orcs, wargs. There's a whole slew of things you can play as, and you basically have the creeps versus the free people or freeps, and you can attack each other and play PvP, or not, or player versus monster player technically, so PvMP. Raycon mentions one in Osgiliath. That's not open world though, right? So anyway, so if you're going to do PvP, it's basically go to the Ettenmoors, and you can do that there. So because that was one of the things that the Lotro developers, back when they were creating the game, were trying to figure out how to deal with that, because there was interesting, people wanted to do PvMP or PvP, but they're like, but that's not lore friendly. And yeah, so 007 Goofy says, so they try to stick to the actual lore as closely as they can. Absolutely, they very much do. That is a huge thing that they are very attentive to in the game, absolutely. So you will find things on landscape sometimes that you're like, oh my goodness, I remember this from the books, things like that. So, but they wanted to figure out a way to make make it possible for people to be able to play in Monster Play if they wanted to, or play as the creeps and whatnot. So they created just that little zone, just that one zone for that. And so there you can do that back and forth. But the rest of the game, it is not possible because, again, you would not... Yeah, it just didn't make sense from a lore perspective to allow players to be doing that to other players. So, yeah, Raycon's saying they kind of do the epic battles, PvP. But you're still playing against the storyline. So, I don't... Yeah. Yeah, you try to win the side for sure. But anyway. Yeah, so... Okay, so most of the people who stream here are players like myself, just fans of the game. But occasionally there are people who work for SSG who do play, who do stream and will answer these kinds of questions and will talk about these sorts of things. So that's why, that's why I know the things that I know that I'm mentioning here, because I've watched their streams and they will talk about these sorts of things. So, yeah, so I would also suggest that if you, so Friday's Cordovan, who's the SSG community manager, he used to stream every Friday, but he's actually pulling back on that, and he'll only do sporadic Fridays. But let's see, Scenario does usually a monthly. Well, Scenario and Orion. So Scenario is a world developer, and then Orion is, gosh, he's got his hands in everything. He's one of the senior developers, I guess. And those two will do a stream together, generally once a month, called We Have a Cave Troll. And they talk about all sorts of things. So they're great to listen in on because they have all sorts of cool stuff to talk about. I'm trying to show you something. Oh, I've gone totally off track of where I thought I was. I thought I was in a different spot, but I'm getting closer. Yeah, I want to get by Woodhall. So let's see. Where did I? Oh, here I go. I'm I came out to things in the wrong place. All right. So, okay. So Goofy says, do you experience the epic battles alongside the main characters? Yeah, there's the taking of Peligir. Yeah, they're called epic battles, and in the game too. And so yeah, you've got retaking Peligir, and you're interacting with Aragorn, and with the twins, I think, in that one. Anyway, so yeah, there's lots of so that's how they get you to interact. You interact throughout the storyline. You come and go through their stories as well, so that's kind of fun. Yeah, Helm's Deep, as Raycon points out, and so forth. Yes, and keeping in mind that we're following the books, not the movies. But anyway, so at one point the hobbits were camping on their way, and so they ran across a fox. Now, unfortunately, this fox doesn't interact with you, except there is one quest chain you can do where you're a chicken, and you can interact with this fox. So that's the fox that the hobbits ran, the fox that saw the hobbits. I believe that's the fox, because it's always there. It's like a staple in the game. And then you get a little bit further, and you come close to Woodhall, and that's where Sam and Frodo met the elves, and so the elven encampment is here. So there are lots of things that you'll run into throughout the game, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's just like the books, or I remember this from the books, and things like that. Tom Bombadil is definitely in the game, and yes, and as is Goldberry, as before points out, River Maiden's daughter. So yes, you it is really cool. It's just especially in this, oh sorry, let me scooch out, this area of Eriador, there's so much that you run across that are like, oh, I know this, oh, I remember this, oh, I've seen this. Now, some things there's not a lot of detail in the books. So for example, if you go to the Lonelands, that's where you have Weathertop. And Weathertop is described. And then the rest of the area is described as being kind of populated by like people who aren't very friendly to strangers, who don't like outsiders. And you definitely get that when you're playing in the Lonelands. It's kind of a, like you get the Forsaken Inn, and I think it's mentioned in the books about how that's like the last inn for a long time. And you know, and you get to the Forsaken Inn, and it's run down, it's dreary, it's kind of depressing. People don't want to talk to you. It's like it really brings in a bit of the atmosphere that you would get to the from the books. There is a secret in the basement. That's true. There's a dungeon in the basement. But to get there, you go through the midge water, so you get all bit up, like Sam complains about. Anyway, so you know, the Lonelands is kind of filled in with a bunch of quests and things to do there that aren't necessarily spelled out in the books, but they've tried to follow the breadcrumbs that would have been, you know, that allowed them to then be like, okay, well, you got to get through here. And then you find yourself in the Troll Shaws where there's a bit more vegetation, but you got to go through the Troll Shaws before you even get to Rivendell. And, you know what I mean? So they really tried to map that out in the game as best they could. Also, you know, you want to try and figure out, like, how do you figure out when is something happening in the game? And so basically your character starts their storyline probably Ered Luin, like Thorin's Hall, or Celendum if you're an elf, or in the Shire if you're a hobbit, or around in Breeland, like near Breetown, if you're a race of man. So then from there, you're kind of spreading out into the area, and you go through, as you're going through, you're kind of going west to east. And so we talk about this before, and I do, that basically, like, as you're traveling, it is as if you are time traveling as well. So if you go back to the Shire hasn't advanced to the point where you have in the game. The Shire is still where it was when you encountered it at the beginning of the game. And same thing with Breeland. Like, by the time you get to Bree, they're a little bit further in the future from what's happening over in the Shire, maybe. But, you know, they know a little bit more. Like, by the time you get to Weathertop, Gandalf has been there and is gone. But when you're in Breetown, he's still there. He hasn't left yet. You know what I mean? So that physical travel through the game is like time travel. Each place is set in the time that it is for where that character would be interacting, you know, as you travel through. Now, as Raycon points out, it does depend on the quests a little bit, but in general, you know, you're time traveling. By the time you get to Gondor, you know, the stuff that's happening when you're in Gondor is far removed from when the hobbits were leaving the Shire. So, yeah, so I think that's a nice way to also accommodate, you know, not having the game have to progress, and everybody is like, how do you deal with, you know, thousands of people coming through this space? It's like, it's always here. So Goofy asks, how does it work if you partner with someone else in a different part of the story? Can they help you with quests you've done? Yes, they can absolutely help you. You create a fellowship, so you just walk up to them and you click on it. Well, I don't have a person nearby me, but where are you at? I mean, where are you physically? Oh, he's on a different server. But basically you just go up to them and you can, like, click on them and ask to create a fellowship with them. And then you can run around together. You have your own quest log. So these are quests that I am currently working on. So I have like 130 level quest here, and I'm a 154 level character, but it doesn't matter. I can just go and do that quest. If I take along a level 20 character with me, they won't be able to pick it up because there's a range. Your character can only pick up quests that are like within 10 or 20 or something like that. So you can't pick up quests that are too high for you or too low for you. But if you already picked it, well, I should say, you can't pick up quests that are too high for you. You can pick up lower level quests, but you can't pick up higher quests. So if you came in and you were doing something that's like a level 20 quest, and I'm a level 154, but I haven't done the quest before, I can pick up the quest too. And regardless of whether I have the quest or not, we can run around together. So maybe you're running through an area and you need to take out a bunch of stuff. I can help shoot a bunch of stuff. Like, that's not a problem. So there's no phasing or downscaling of level like in WoW. No, there's none of that. Yeah, basically, as before it says, in general, everyone can see the same enemies in the area. So if I go and I see some midges, everybody sees those same midges. And if I shoot them and they disappear, everybody sees them disappear. So like this harvest fly is here, everybody can see it. And if I shoot it, it disappears. I get credit for it. If somebody else shoots it, maybe it doesn't finish it off. A lot of characters have open tapping, and that means everybody who shoots it or interacts, does some damage on it or hits it, gets credit for it when it is defeated. So if I was like trying to work on a Slayer deed, and I need to defeat like 50 of these, maybe I let a low level character hit it first so they get credit, and then I finish it off for them so they don't die by this harvest fly attacking them. Things like that. Yeah, okay, so Goofy, if you're talking about wanting to finish things, let me introduce you to this wonderful plugin called the Deed Tracker, put together by my sweetie over here before, where you can keep track of all the deeds that your character has and has not yet completed. There is an in-game deed log. Sorry, that's not it. That's it. But it does not show you deeds that you haven't started. It will only show you deeds that you are in the process of, or deeds that you have completed. Whereas one thing that's lovely about this plugin, the Deed Tracker, is it will show you everything. So if you're like, you don't have to worry about, have I started that deed yet or not? It'd be like, it's listed there. Whereas the in-game one won't show it to you until you start it. Raycon, where is it? I need it. Now, just as a heads up, Raycon, it cannot populate things that you have already done into the deed tracker. However, B4 does have instructions on how to get that information and have it fed into there, so you don't have to add it in by hand. So you just like run a little thing and everything will go bloop, and it'll be right in there for you. Yeah, follow those links that he's put in the chat there. Yes, Kagosi says Deed Tracker, love it. Absolutely, Deed Tracker is fantastic. I enjoy a lot of plugins. You can run vanilla. You absolutely do not need a single plugin at all in order to just enjoy this game. There's just things I enjoy that make my life a little, just adds a little cherry on top of things, and I enjoy that. Let's see. Yeah, before it does say, you can be level 160 and go back and complete the quest in a level 10 area, but it may be less engaging. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, oh yeah, actually, and before it does point out that open tapping means all fellowships in range that participated in a mob's defeat get credit. So, like, you don't personally have to hit it, but your fellowship does. So if somebody in your fellowship hits it, and then... and you're in range, yeah, and you're in range. So like this mini radar up here at the top shows you everything that's in range. So if I have a fellowship member who's out of range, so like that harvest fly, let's pretend that's one of my fellowship members. So they're in range. So if I were to attack and take something out, they would get credit for it as well. But if I am out of the range, like if I'm way over here, notice how it's turned into an arrow, and they're not on my radar anymore. So now if I take something out, they're probably not going to get credit for it because they're too far away. So there is like that kind of a thing to keep in mind if you're trying to take stuff out, and make sure your fellowship all gets credit. It's really funny, like we've done it where there's been we've had too many people questing, so we ended up creating multiple fellowships because a fellowship can only go to 6. Should be 9, I know, whatever. But it goes to 6. MMO rules in that regard. And then, so you just have one person in the fellowship, make sure they tap, and make sure somebody on the other fellowship taps, and then you take it out. So it's pretty funny. Yes, Goofy, it does automatically track once it's installed, though. So you're good to go once it goes. It'll track everything from there forward. So I try to make sure I have a loaded when I start a brand new character, because then everything I do from then on is taken care of. So, all right, is there anything else that I missed here? So now, don't feel like you've got to end this conversation. I'm going to stop streaming here in a few minutes, and Before is going to pick up, and he is going to be doing his stream called Plug and Long, where he's going to be doing some plugin development here on screen. But we can still keep talking about Lotra stuff, you know, all the day long. It does not have to be, the conversation does not have to be specifically plugin related. Do they allow graphic plugins? Yeah, so Before says that, yeah, so Goofy plugins can draw things on the screen, but they can't change in-game graphics. So for example, I have, no, not that one. In the options, under UI settings, I have installed, where is it? Usually about a, oh, did they change? Wait, I thought it was UI settings. Oh, they moved some things around recently. Hang on. My UI skin. Where is it? Hmm?
Just search for skin.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay, current user skin. So I have the JRR skins pack loaded. And so there's like a whole bunch of options that I can choose from here. But so I've got Delving Hills Wide 2. If I switched it to like Durin's Folk, it's going to look different. So it's, you know, this is the kind of look. Yeah, so you can have it do that kind of a thing. But yeah, as Before was saying, you can't have it like, there are certain things that, and he can speak more to this eloquently on his chat, on his stream, about what they have access to in the plugins because of the Lua and all that. What they have access to and what they don't. So I'll let him answer that question here in just a second. So yeah, Anna says, I've never seen an entire taskbar filled with emotes. Yeah, that's my secondary taskbar, because I do a lot of social stuff. This is my primary, you know, like I've got all my tacky stuff here. But yes, then that's my social tab. So does not everybody? I probably have to take some off of here at some point and change them around, but it's all good. Question about the UI update not affecting the scaling of carryalls. I don't know. Yeah, Before knows more about that. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and drop off here and let Before pick up, and then he can answer more of these questions, because it definitely feels like we're drifting into more techie sounding stuff, and he's much better at explaining that stuff than I am. So this is a perfect time for us to transition. So yes, and I saw the day-night cycles, and I see that Before answered that, so fantastic. So, and then yeah, you can see I've got on my plugin the Titan bar up here telling me what time of day it is, and you do have that on the in-game stuff. It tells me that it's dusk, but I do like it tells me like in 12 minutes it will be gloaming and stuff like that. So anyway, thank you all for coming along. Fantastic time. Before and I are here every Tuesday starting at 11:30 server time, Eastern time. So that's like 5:30 my time generally. When we do the time changes, when, you know, the daylight saving switch is around, excuse me, I just stick with server time. So I'm always streaming at 11:30 server time, regardless of what time changes have happened. So just, you can go ahead and count for that. So stick around for Before and Plugging Along, and we'll see you again in a few minutes and again next week. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.